Imagine this. You're 18 years old. You've just aged out of the foster care system, a place you've called home for as long as you can remember. You have a trash bag with your few belongings, a heart full of hope, and a plan. Your name is Jeremiah, and today is supposed to be the first day of the rest of your life. But as the sun sets, that hope starts to feel fragile. This was the reality for a young man in Texas, a story that starts with a closed door but ends with a future wide open. Jeremiah had done everything right. He'd worked hard in school, saved a little money, and was determined to make something of himself. He was headed to college in just a few weeks. The plan was simple: stay at a local shelter for a bit, just until he could move into his dorm. But when he arrived, the door to that plan slammed shut. The shelter was full. Every bed was taken. There was no room. Suddenly, the world felt vast and cold. The streets, once a path to a bright future, now looked like a dead end. With nowhere to go, Jeremiah found a small, quiet spot at a bus stop. He sat down, the weight of his situation pressing down on him. Loneliness, fear, the sting of rejection. It was a heavy burden for an 18-year-old to carry alone. He had no family to call, no safety net to catch him. As the night grew darker, so did his thoughts. Was this it? Was this how his journey into adulthood was going to begin? Alone, on a bench, with nowhere to sleep. But sometimes, in our darkest moments, a single flicker of light is all it takes to change everything. For Jeremiah, that light came from a stranger. A woman passing by noticed him. She saw a young man, clearly distressed, sitting by himself late at night. Most people might have walked on, minding their own business. But this woman, Ginger, felt a pull, a need to make sure he was okay. She approached him cautiously and asked a simple question. "Are you all right?" That one question broke the dam. Jeremiah, holding back tears, explained his situation. He told her about aging out of foster care, about his college dreams, about the shelter being full. He wasn't asking for anything, just sharing his story with the first person who had shown him a moment of kindness. Ginger listened, her heart aching for him. She knew she couldn't just walk away. She was a mother herself, and the thought of any child, especially one on the cusp of a new beginning, being left so vulnerable was unbearable. She made a decision right there, a decision that would ripple out in ways neither of them could imagine. She told Jeremiah to wait, that she would be right back. Ginger went home, but Jeremiah's story stayed with her. She couldn't shake the image of him sitting alone at that bus stop. She talked to her husband, who agreed they had to do something. So, Ginger picked up her phone. She didn't have a massive following or a powerful network. She was just an ordinary person who believed in the power of community. She posted on a local Facebook group, sharing Jeremiah's story. She didn't ask for money or grand gestures. She just asked a simple question. Does anyone have a place for this young man to stay? The response was immediate and overwhelming. It was like a digital barn raising. Post was shared hundreds, then thousands of times. Comments flooded in. People offered spare rooms, hot meals, clothes, and school supplies. They offered gift cards, rides, and words of encouragement. An entire community, who had never met Jeremiah, wrapped their arms around him from behind their screens. It wasn't just one person. It was a wave of compassion. Within hours, a local family saw the post and reached out. They had a spare room and an open heart. They drove to the bus stop where Jeremiah was still waiting, not knowing what to expect. When they arrived and offered him a safe place to sleep, Jeremiah was stunned. Couldn't believe that strangers would do this for him. That night, for the first time in a long time, he slept in a warm bed, under a roof he could count on. Feeling not like an orphan, but like he was part of a family. But the story doesn't end there. The kindness just kept growing. As more people learned about Jeremiah's ambition to go to college, they wanted to help him succeed. A GoFundMe was set up not by Ginger, but by others who were inspired by his story. The goal was modest, just enough to help with books and a few essentials, but the community had bigger plans. Donations poured in from all over the country. People who had never met him were investing in his future, believing in a young man they only knew through a stranger's post. The fund grew beyond anyone's wildest dreams. It was enough to cover not just his first year of tuition, but potentially his entire college education. Businesses stepped up. A local car dealership heard his story and gifted him a car, so he wouldn't have to rely on public transportation. A dentist offered free dental work. An insurance agent provided 6 months of free car insurance. It was a cascade of generosity, all sparked by one woman's simple act of stopping to ask, "Are you all right?" Think about the power of that. Ginger didn't solve Jeremiah's problem on her own. She was the catalyst. She was the one who lit the match, and the community became the wildfire of support. This story is a powerful reminder that you do and need to be a billionaire or a celebrity to make a life-changing impact. Sometimes, the most profound changes start with the smallest acts of noticing, of caring, of speaking up. Jeremiah's life was transformed. He went from feeling invisible and alone to being seen and supported by thousands. He was no longer just a statistic of the foster care system. He was a young man with a community, a support system, and a bright future ahead of him. He enrolled in college, ready to pursue his dreams, knowing that an army of believers was cheering him on. This story also shines a light on the challenges faced by kids aging out of the foster system. They often lack the family support and resources that many of us take for granted. Jeremiah's story had a happy ending, but for many others, the struggle is real and ongoing. It highlights the gaps in our social safety nets and the critical role that communities can play in filling them. What can we take away from this incredible turn of events? First, never underestimate your ability to make a difference. Ginger wasn't a superhero. She was an ordinary person who chose to act with extraordinary compassion. Her decision to stop, to listen, and to ask for help created a miracle. We all have that power. It might not be a viral post, but it could be a kind word, a helping hand, or simply letting someone know they are not alone. Second, this is a testament to the inherent goodness in people. In a world that can often feel divided and cynical, stories like Jeremiah's prove that empathy and generosity are alive and well. When given the opportunity, people want to help. They want to be part of something positive. The internet and social media can sometimes be negative spaces, but this shows their incredible potential for good, for connecting us and mobilizing kindness on a massive scale. And finally, for anyone out there feeling like Jeremiah did on that bus stop bench alone, hopeless and overlooked, this story is for you. Your circumstances right now do not define your future. Help can come from the most unexpected places. Don't be afraid to share your story, to reach out, to accept kindness when it's offered. There are Gingers in the world. There are communities ready to lift you up. Your journey is not over. It might just be waiting for that one connection, that one stranger's call, to change everything forever. Jeremiah's future is no longer a question mark. It's a bold, promising exclamation point. And it all started because one person refused to look away. Let's all try to be a little more like Ginger. Let's be the ones who stop, who ask, and who believe in the power of a simple human connection. Because you never know when you might be the stranger who changes a life forever. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, please share it to spread the message of hope and community. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring stories. See you next time.